Today we're going to be talking about a full HD beamer. So I actually wanted to check it out for you guys to see it is going to be a good replacing for just like a big LCD display. However, when it comes to the functionalities, this thing comes with really cool features with auto adjusting, autofocus and everything like that. 1.47 full HD projector, and you know, we're having a lot of 4K televisions now. The question remains, is full HD actually more than enough when it comes to the resolution? It comes with a Bluetooth version, voice audio, Wi-Fi, USB and HDMI. But this is not your typical, let's say, budget projector. So this seems to be a premium, smart, portable projector. So we're going to be playing some games today. So the question remains, having this 1000 lumens and having 100 inches. So this is absolutely one insane beamer when it comes to that. However, the question remains, how will it look? So having the price of €422, that's actually showing here around $489.99 when it comes to, let's say, the projector. So what you need to take consideration, this is more like, I think, a beginner's semi-professional beamer solution. But how about the overall projector? The Blaze1k, the HD Smart Projector, 1000 in ENSCI lumens, so fully compatible interface, and I'm really curious about that. I'm going to be doing a deep dive into that. True HD, so we're having 100 inches, dual 5-watt speakers. So we're going to be testing it out, how to see how it is. HDMI 2.0, we're having USB 2 and 3, and we have all kinds of different kind of overall connectivities. So yeah, precision, unparalleled LED coloring mixing. So one of the things I'm really curious now is like how bright will it be and how colorful, because that's one of the things I do miss out with some of the beamers. But again, if you're going to be looking at the price point, this is not like going to be a low budget solution. This is more maybe something that is interesting if you just want to go into, let's say, so overall video, but in my case, a gaming experience. But let's do a quick unboxing, because the box itself is quite basic and kind of boring. So the remote is just your typical remote that we have seen with a lot of, let's say, Android boxes, because this is a smart device and comes with a built-in overall smart Android, let's say, box. So we can do all kinds of extra features without even connecting all kinds of different devices. We're going to be needing 2 batteries for hooking this up. So the overall quality feel is quite nice, have like the general functionalities, nothing fancy there. So we're going to be using this beefy power supply. This is 19 volts in total, 120 watts. So having here the cable for connecting the power supply, the European in my case, and here we're going to be having the beefy beamer or projector, the Blaze1k. So one of the things I'm really curious how the overall image quality is, despite it's going to be just 1080p. So, and overall we're going to be having all kinds of very cool features. So the smart projector, let's boot it up, let's see what's going on with this. So when it comes to the overall design, it's a quite big one when it comes to, like, I've seen all kinds of different kind of projectors. That's like a very nice way to it. We do have the option to actually mount a bracket at the bottom. So if you want to put it on a different kind of system. So we do have like rubber feet at the bottom, so this thing can be placed very stable on your table. So next up we're going to be having all of the connections at the back. So this thing utilizes RJ45, we're having 2 USB ports for the older one and a faster port, 2 HDMIs, we have an audio and digital and the on-off switch and the input for the power supply. I mounted my adapter for the Velpon, so let's connect this bad boy. And this way you can fairly easy put it in a certain position and aim it at the screen or the wall itself. So the overall looks, it's not bad itself. And also when it comes to how much wiggle, let's actually turn it on into a certain position that it cannot wiggle anymore. But you can see that it's still kind of loose. That is to do with the adapter itself, nothing with the beamer. But take consideration that this thing does have like a crazy amount of weight to it. So that is one thing we're going to be having, but let's boot it up because I'm really curious how loud this thing is. So at least the power supply is plugged in. Let's power it on. And so far I must say that it's not making a lot of noise. So it's automatically adjusting, actually on my wall over here. But the one thing I'm already noticing is like what is very, very bright overall, like room I'm actually using with my studio lamp and everything. I must say that the overall looks of this beamer, like the way how bright it is, I must say that I'm really surprised at this point. Wow, I can tell you this is absolutely insane when it comes to the overall brightness. But one thing I wanted to do is connecting some retro gaming, or retro, I mean I'm going to be connecting some cool stuff, and let's get myself the special wall, let's see, projector screen. Let's roll it out and let's see how it looks on there. So let's see if I can actually correct this. Let's get all these boxes away and all of the freaking mess. Let's get this show on the road. Let's zoom out like crazy. So let's see how easy this thing is to actually set up. There we go. Now it's getting a little bit more, of course, stretched out, so it's going to be less overall, let's say, when it comes to the clearness and everything. So far out of the box that I must say I'm still very impressed. But let's get some lamps off to see what is going on. And so far, let's get most of the studio lights off. And overall brightness, man, that is pretty good. You know what's kind of funny is that actually I'm going to be looking at this, and I've been testing a lot of kind of projectors, cheaper ones, more expensive ones, but despite this thing is a little bit, let's say, lower resolution, the overall brightness is pretty good. Of course I'm using just a normal screen, and if you're going to be using like special screens, that will even enhance the overall image and colors and everything else. I just want to give you an idea how noisy it is. In other words, not at all. But when you're going to be feeling it, this thing, wow, it's pushing out some really hot air here at the side. And this is actually how the Blaze1k is actually like doing the distribution of, let's say, getting the fresh air from the side over here, pushing it out. And get that you heat up your hands very easily. However, I must say the overall construction, when it comes to cooling, I must say that I'm pleased with it, but also when it comes to the noise levels. But the auto adjustment, I already mentioned it very quickly when actually booting it up. I must say we're going to be messing with this thing. It's automatically adjusting, and this worked really well. So I'm going to be putting it in a certain position, and there we go. Oh, messed it up. Let's do it again. Oh, there we go. But the problem is I'm having over here is that I'm not giving it this time to actually. Okay, there we go. Need to put it very quickly in this position. Give it some time, don't wiggle it too much. And that's actually how you're going to be adjusting it. I like it. I like it a lot. But let's take a close look at the menu itself. So out of the box we do actually have the Play Store, so we can actually set it up if you want to. So I think it's kind of cool. So this thing is quite powerful. If we're going to be signing into this, we can actually download games and actually just play and use Netflix and all other features that you want to. However, out of the box I also have like, I think it's YouTube seems to be in here. We have screen mirroring mode. So we can even have the option to do that with the eShare server in it when it's going to be needing to activate. HDMI, the App Store itself, local storage, so let's see what's going on there. So this thing comes with packed with 32 GB, or at least like a part of it has been used. But in here we can mess around and install APK files and other stuff if you want to. So that's kind of cool. So let's see what we're going to be having more in here. We're having the settings. With the settings we can do some pretty cool things, like just connecting it to your, let's say, device with your Bluetooth. So I'm guessing we can also connect Bluetooth controllers if you want to. And in this way we can even mess around more and even install some applications and do some pretty cool things. But let's check out what it is with the brightness and everything. So this thing actually has been set to the maximum. You can only have like a few settings that we can match. So projector method, they can even change out with up first. Oh crap, what did I do? Okay, that's better. So we can mess around with that. So the auto corrections like focus setting has been set to auto, the keystone has been set to auto, and of course we can also do it with the manual situation. But I must say, out of the box he does a pretty good job. With other beamers I've been always like struggling to the point I'm really hating those things, but now this is kind of working quite nice. So I have the screen zoom if you want to. We can mess around with that. So let's say if you have a little bit of problems, you can still like it still doesn't really align. Particularly if we're going to be making it small, you can see that it doesn't really perfectly align. But again, we can all change it out. But for now, we just wanted to see what's going on. We can move the screen. if it's not like perfectly aligned. So when it comes to like say adjusting out of the box, we can do a lot of cool things. So picture mode, that is something I actually wanted to check out. We can also hear the music at the background, but what I wanted to do is see what's going on. We're having normal, so this looks so much better. We're having living over here, and in this way we can actually see all kinds of different situations. Let's lower the volume for now and let's see what's going on. So if I'm going to be looking into the image quality, I must say that I'm personally preferring the standard mode. So out of the box it was actually set of bright, and when I'm going to set to bright, maybe you can even see with this, you can just see that everything is a little bit too blue, and I don't like that. So we're having standard over here. Standard is okay. If you're going to be looking at the fish itself, it's kind of cool by the way that they even implemented a 4K setting. But yeah, I don't know. So at this point, standard. We also have the option to customize over here. We can even mess around with contrast, saturation and everything like your television. But picture mode, I think out of the box we do have normal. And this is normal, and we're having standard, where it makes it, if you're particularly looking at the menu itself, there we can see the difference. Again, the white is actually white, and with standard it gets a little bit to the yellow. So I'm going to be keeping it normal for the best overall picture. So that's actually it. So voice, general settings, and in here like screensaver if you want to. Let's say you can turn it on in a certain moment, and with all kinds of other cool things. Input method can be changed out. Let's see what's going on. So we're having even an Android keyboard if you want to use that. So in overall, when you're looking at it, you can actually do a lot of cool stuff out of the box with this device. But let's see what's going on. Let's see what we can actually do. We do have to have the, is it like that the app? Yeah, the Aptoid TV is even enabled in here. Let's go to the App Store. I just wanted to see what we can do from the app. Oh, it's actually going to the Aptoid TV store. But you know, in here we can just allow deny if you want to get into the files itself. And this way, but of course we're not connected to the internet yet. But we're going to be doing that maybe later on. For now I just wanted to focus on the functionalities of the beamer, but particularly when it comes to the quality itself and how bright it actually is. Because that's one of the things that I always hate about these things. So we can switch between HDMI 1 or 2. So let's do that first and let's see how gaming is on a device like this. And when the PlayStation is connected, it will automatically even, yeah, the device sees the signal. So let's confirm. Let's go to HDMI 1 and let's go. So one of the things I love to look at is how bright it is, but also when it comes to the colors. And like I mentioned already in the start, I must say that this looks really good. With the new resolution, once again, you have options. So let's adjust it over here so that everything will fit perfectly in the border. So let's boot up a game and let's see the overall quality. We're running actually on 1080p now, not 4K. So if you have like a PlayStation Pro, you don't actually need that. But let's boot it up and let's get into my favorite freaking game. Destruction All-Stars. And it's also very bright and very colorful. But the question remains, how is the overall volume? Because this is something I'm really curious about. Let's crank it up like crazy. Let's see what's going on. Now let's have some fun. Man, those flashes are crazy. In particular, we're going to be looking at the details and everything. That's what makes these games so freaking awesome. And even on 1080p with this beamer, I can tell you that this is going to be fun. So at this point I still have one light here in the studio on because I actually wanted to check out what is going on when it comes to, let's say, the overall experience. So one of the things is that when it comes to certain parts where it's getting a little bit darker, then you do notice actually that we do have like a projector using over here. But let's say if we're going to be lowering the overall, let's say, lighting, you can see how freaking great this works out. And even I'm going to be shutting it down completely with the final lamp going off. You can actually see this is just one beautiful bright experience. But let's go on, let's see, man, oh, this is absolutely crazy how bright this again is. Why do I have this guy? This my guy, yeah.
Ooh, now we are heating up.
Well, one thing is for sure, so this is going to be absolutely an overall fun experience. And at this point I don't really mind that it is not even 4K.
Point gates within the time limit and complete the course to win. Let's make it count. Talk about timing. Precious seconds added to the clock. Cannonball.
And the audio quality itself is quite good of the beamer itself with the projector, but I do need to crank it up if I have like a really good overall experience. Ah, mess
No
it
car
up.
can take that kind of punishment. Oh, wrecked right out of nowhere. Excellent gate navigation.
But again, the audio is not super loud, but it's loud enough to actually enjoy a simple gaming. But let's move the camera, try at least to get something in front or behind to give you like a better idea, because this is of course the best picture you can get.
It's Team Mayhem. Every high-scoring smash counts for points for your team. Highest scoring team wins the match. And everyone's favorite all-star is the first to score. High fives all around. And the crowd goes mild. Come on, hit him for real.
So let's move on to the Nintendo Switch. I do wonder one thing. Will these bloody things actually configure? Because I haven't been using this for actually forever now. Alright, so it seems to be that my beamer is not aligned like it's supposed to be. Come on, there we go. Up. Yeah, thank you. Oh, let's see what's going on. Still, it's a little bit tilted to a certain point. That's what I mean. Oh, it has nothing to do with the beamer. It's just like the freaking... Yeah, so there's a little bit of a bummer.
Ultra Street Fighter.
Of course we're going to play some Street Fighter. And with a simple reason is I just wanted to see what's going on. How does it actually play? It was like some input delay going on. I just want to have like the bright light to see what are the differences within the overall, let's say, visual quality. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. So let's... Oh! So when actually looking at this, I can tell you that it feels that I'm actually looking at, like, say, a very nice bright overall LCD.
Round one, fight!
Here we go. Oh. Leave me alone, Zangief. Ah, gotcha. I think if you're going to be even having, let's say, a little bit of an overall, let's say, fun with like colorful games, this is just absolutely a joy to look at. But the question, of course, remains, how far can we push this? I mean, when it comes to, let's light it up. Come on, turn on light. So you can see that it's not like the most convenient way, because we have this bloody freaking thing in the middle of the wall. But I'm really surprised, like I'm having like what, 100 inches over here, and it still looks freaking amazing. Despite the overall, let's say, resolution it's using. I must say that this is absolutely one massive surprise. So when it comes to like projecting this on, let's say, a massive screen, yeah, we can manage to do like a 100 inch without any problem so far. I've tested. So I've been playing around with some projectors or beamers, and I must say that I was kind of skeptical seeing the specs. But when I'm going to be like seeing it in real life, I am really actually pleased with this beamer, and it's going to be my favorite at this point. I've been testing out a couple of them, from really cheap ones to 4K, but this thing looks pretty amazing. Wanted to specify this as like a gaming beamer, but we can do some pretty cool things. If you want to see something more, let me know in the comments. For now, thank you all for watching, and it will be great to see you in the next video.